Good evening. It's Wednesday, November 15, 2023. I am Lou Ann Bramwell Shakes with the NRP Evening News Roundup. Here are the headlines. Country placed on alert for increased rainfall and flooding. PNP wants ODPEM to play a leading role in preparation exercise. National Family Planning Board to be integrated to a new client services division of the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Manchester reported to have the highest level of domestic violence and murders associated with it. In sports, India reached the World Cup final by holding off New Zealand on a memorable night in Mumbai. The news today is brought to you courtesy of Suritsu Communications, connecting homes, connecting lives, connecting multiple platforms through convergence. Check them today by calling 876-333-1927 or 876-333-1926. Suritsu Communications. We're here to serve you better.
Discover the power of seamless connection with Suritsu Communications, your go-to wireless internet provider. Right here in your backyard, our expert team delivers state-of-the-art internet service promptly and professionally. Choose from our comprehensive packages: AirSpeed, Home, Advanced, or Custom, all designed for the data-driven user. Ready for lightning-fast internet? Call us at 876-333-1926 or 876-333-1927 and be online within hours. Suritsu Communications, where we're not just connecting homes, we're building communities through technology.
And now the news. The National Meteorological Service of Jamaica has put the country on alert for more increased rainfall starting today through to Saturday. In a release last evening, the Met Service said a broad surface trough across the southwestern Caribbean is currently producing a large area of showers and thunderstorms across the western Caribbean, and the environmental conditions are becoming conducive to the development of the system. It further warned that the system has the potential for the formation of a tropical depression during the latter part of this week. The forecast is for cloudy conditions with widespread showers and thunderstorms, which could be heavy at times with occasional gusty winds to affect most parishes, especially central and eastern parishes, starting as early as tonight and continuing through to Saturday morning. The Met Service added the projections are for Jamaica to see greater impact late Thursday through to Friday. The Met Service has urged fishers and other marine interests to exercise extreme caution, especially across the south coast, as sea conditions will deteriorate in the vicinity of the showers and thunderstorms. The Meteorological Service will continue to monitor this system and provide further updates. Meanwhile, the opposition spokesperson on local government, Natalie Nita Headley, is urging the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, to play an active role in preparing Jamaicans for the anticipated flood rains starting today and the subsequent post-flooding recovery. In a statement last night, Mrs. Nita Garvey emphasized that, now that the Meteorological Office has issued a severe weather alert for the island, ODPEM professionals should take control by activating the Emergency Operations Center to guide Jamaicans through any potential disaster. She also wants Minister of Local Government, Desmond McKenzie, to activate the parish disaster coordinators and committees. Local Government Natalie Nita Garvey. Mrs. Nita Garvey encouraged Jamaicans to stay alert by paying attention to all communication messages issued by the Meteorological Office, ODPEM, and the ODPEM Disaster Committee. In particular, she urged cooperation in the event that rising water necessitated moving to higher ground or emergency shelters. The ODPEM has put the National Response Team and the Parish Disaster in standby in preparation for any eventuality. The ODPEM is advising the public to take the following precautions in light of the rainfall activities for Jamaica. Be ready to evacuate if you live in low-lying or flood-prone areas. Avoid flooding waterways, fords, gullies, streams, or rivers. Ensure that all important documents are secured in plastic bags or waterproof containers. Turn off all electrical power, gas, and water supplies in areas that are in immediate danger. Avoid areas with damaged roadways. Avoid, where necessary, areas prone to landslide and flooding. In case of extensive rainfall, avoid going on the road except where absolutely necessary. The public is being asked to continue to monitor the radio for further advisories. The ODPEM is reminding the public that we are still in the hurricane season and persons should take necessary precautions. The ODPEM will continue to monitor and provide the public with information as they become available. Member of Parliament for South St. Catherine Fitzjackson has hit back at comments Government Minister and Member of Parliament for Southwest St. Catherine Ever Watson made regarding shifting of boundaries in Portmore St. Catherine. Addressing party supporters at an East Central constituency conference on Sunday last, Mr. Warmington told them that the Andrew Holness-led Jamaica Labour Party would create a stronghold in the St. Catherine East Central constituency. He said since 2004, he has been lobbying for Portmore not to fall under the responsibility of the Spanish Town Council. He also informed his supporters that with some border realignment now taking place, the JLP will now have greater control of areas in Portmore, giving it a stronghold on the municipality and the parish. Recently, party insiders indicated that plans were far advanced to make Portmore the 15th parish. This would ultimately put the opposition People's National Party out of contention. Mr. Jackson, in responding to the declared intent of the government, said the reports carried in the media about the border issue amounts to gerrymandering of political boundaries in St. Catherine to ensure control by the Jamaica Labour Party. Mr. Jackson further indicated that the plan of the Andrew Holness administration represents a
We
reversal.
would not want to see a repeat of the recent earthquake experience when the disaster agency failed to communicate with the people of Jamaica for 6 hours after the major earthquake event. We are calling on the Minister of Local Government, Honorable Desmond McKenzie, who has a portfolio responsibility for disaster preparedness and emergency management, to activate the parish disaster coordinators and committees. This is essential to ensure that Jamaica leverages the legislative powers and disaster plans provided for in the Disaster Risk Management Act.
Mr. Jackson, in responding to the declared intent of the government, said the reports carried in the media about the border issue amounts to gerrymandering of political boundaries in St. Catherine to ensure control by the Jamaica Labour Party.
This is yet another act of corruption by the government to return Jamaica to some of its darkest and regrettable political conduct. This must be resisted by all well-thinking Jamaicans now.
Mr. Jackson further indicated that the plan of the Andrew Holness administration represents a reversal of the successes of the past leaders of both the JLP and PNP in detribalizing the election process in Jamaica. Work is on the way
I take note of remarks made by Cabinet Member Minister Warmington, as carried in the media, that the government will be gerrymandering, taking unilateral steps to manipulate electoral boundaries in St. Catherine to ensure control by the Jamaica Labour Party. His statement on behalf of the government confirms the suspicions of most Portmore residents and the People's National Party since the efforts announced to impose parish status on Portmore. This planned action of the government represents a savage assault on democracy and the remarkable gains made over the past 43 years.
Member of Parliament for South St. Catherine Fisk-Jackson, MP. Work is now underway to integrate the work of the National Family Planning Board, the NFPB, to a new client services division of the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, in a story carried in the JIS midday package today, said the move is part of a wider transformation that will see the HRV prevention program falling under the health prevention branch, while family planning will be integrated into the Family Health Unit and the National Health Fund will handle contraceptive procurement. Dr. Tufton added that the new division will offer a wide range of patient care support services to include the institutionalization of the Compassionate Care Program and a patient complaint mechanism to look at medical negligence issues.
The creation of the new division will also herald functions including social determinants of health that will look at the provision of social protection support and social work practice for clients. This will include a compassionate care fund and other social welfare programs such as social cases in hospitals, an enabling environment of health and human rights that look at the issues of vulnerability and advocacy for health and engagement of different groups in health services delivery.
Dr. Tufton was speaking in the House of Representatives recently. The parish of Manchester has been reported to have the highest level of domestic violence and murders associated with it when compared to the figures reported for the other 13 parishes. This was disclosed by members of the Manchester Community Safety and Security Branch. They attended a parent conference put on by the Devon Primary and Infant School in Northeast Manchester yesterday. Corporal O'Neill Plummer, who addressed the audience, informed the parents that so far this year, the parish recorded in excess of 6 such cases of domestic violence, which turned deadly. He reminded the parents that domestic violence perpetrators were not only males, but females, and that these should also be reported despite the stigma attached.
We have cases where females are perpetrators. And what happens when females are perpetrators is that the male tends to be afraid to report these matters. Why? Because they're stigmatized. The males are looked at as being weak, because we have this saying that man must run their house, and man must be man and stand up. That's the culture of our society. But if we continue to push that culture, then we will still have a number of violence. Manchester, we have a number of domestic violence cases where it results in the loss of life.
And Corporal Plummer informed the parents that they should not accept abuse, but report these so that the proper intervention can be done.
By extension, we have agencies that assist in the aid of victims. Once you're a victim of domestic violence, we have different arms and agencies that get involved to assist victims. Up to the point of, because at times victims are afraid to leave, when they have nowhere else to go, we have what is called safe shelters. You can't talk, they will come for you. No, that's why we have what is called the domestic violence eye care centers, and it is run under strict confidentiality. So once you report that to an eye care manager, then you will not hear that this is the person who made the report.
The parent conference was held at the Devon Missionary Church in Manchester under the theme Knowledge is Power. A two-vehicle crash this morning at the intersection of North Street and Duke Street in Kingston left several persons injured and a call for government to treat better with wayward public passenger vehicle operators. Reports are that at about 8:30 a.m., a white Honda wagon was traveling along North Street when on the light, the driver proceeded to continue on his journey. A white Probox car came, which was traveling northerly along Duke Street moments later, collided with the white Honda wagon motor car. The impact caused taxi to overturn onto its top, spilling passengers it was carrying. This was subsequently transported to the nearby Kingston Public Hospital for treatment. The accident drew a large crowd of onlookers, a subsequent pileup of traffic for a brief moment along the two busy thoroughfares before the police took control and moved the traffic along. Meanwhile, there is a call for the government to set up a proper bus system to prevent the constant harassment of commuters by many taxi operators as they seek to fill their vehicles for a trip. An eyewitness to this morning's crash in Kingston, who spoke to NRP News, says the government needs to act quickly to prevent similar challenges from taking place.
As far as I'm concerned, no civilized country can function the way we have been functioning in terms of the way we treat with public transportation. As far as I'm concerned, this thing we are one man, one or two vehicles, and it is a constant competition for passengers. Cannot work. It is a recipe for disaster. And the sooner the government gets all of these vehicles off the road and set up a proper bus system, the better off all of us will be.
It is reported that the taxi operator, in his quest to get passengers, ran the red light and collided with another car proceeding in an easterly direction.
It's typical of what tends to happen. The taxi drivers, they are constantly trying to beat the light. So it's no surprise, and it was clear that he was also speeding. There's no way a vehicle traveling slow could have spun over like that. It's just not possible. All right? I mean, I spent most of my life studying physics. All right? It's just absolutely nuts what has happened. But unfortunately, this is the kind of thing that happens too often around Kingston and certainly right across the country.
That's our accident eyewitness. You are listening to news on NRP Radio, your primary Christian source for news, sports, and the weather on nrpmediaja.com. Reaching you where you are, no boundaries, no limitations. This information package is brought to you by Siretio Communications, connecting homes, connecting lives, connecting multiple platforms through convergence. Check them today by calling 876-333-1927 or 876-333-1926. Siretio Communications. We're here to serve you better.
Hepburn's Glass Appliance is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors and closets at very competitive prices. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock 316 and 1/8 mirror thickness and 316 and quarter thickness in our entire stock of float glasses. We have in stock gloves, cutters and suction cups at unbeatable prices. Our customer service is second to none with same-day cutting for your specific measurements. Visit our office at 13 Chisholm Avenue, Kingston 13. Call us at 908-0962 or email hepburn.glass@gmail.com. Hepburn's Glass. Quality service is our priority.
And now let's give you some sporting information. Brought to you by Hepburn's Glass, located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston. And now for our sports stories. In D-Cup action today, 8 teams took the fight to their opponents as the DeCosta Cup football competition continued at venues in central Jamaica. The teams were Clarendon College versus Glenmuir High at Manchester High, Christiana High versus Manchester High at Brooks Park, BB Coke High versus Tintill Technical at Stets, and Garvey Maceo High went up against Cornwall College at Glenmuir High. Here is the NRP sports analyst Dudley Powell with a roundup of today's matchups. We will hear more of this report in subsequent newscasts. Meanwhile, the Ben Francis Cup also began today, and we will hear more in subsequent newscasts. India reached the World Cup final by holding off New Zealand on a memorable night in Mumbai that included Virat Kohli's recording break 50th one-day international century. Superstar Kohli moved clear of his legendary former teammate Sachin Tendulkar's 100 tally as India piled up 397 for 4. But New Zealand threatened to spoil the host party at the Windacre Stadium. Daryl Mitchell scored a sublime century of his own and put on 189 runs, 149 balls with skipper Kane Williamson to quieten the febrile home support and give the Black Caps a shot at an improbable victory. India were reeling the pressure with the Black Caps on 220 for 2 when Mohammed Shami removed Williamson for 69 and Tom Latchman for a 2-ball duck in the 33rd over. Glenn Phillips' 41 from 33 kept New Zealand in with an outside chance, but he holed out and Mitchell followed for 134 to Shami. Fast bowler Shami ended with an incredible figure of 7 to 57 and the best for India in ODIs, and New Zealand were ultimately bowled out for 327, leaving them 70 runs short. That's sports in our NRP evening roundup, brought to you by Hepburn's Glass, located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston. The time courtesy of NRP News is we promise to bring you a
This is VOA News. I'm Scott Walterman. President Joe Biden meets Chinese President Xi Jinping Wednesday outside of San Francisco as the two prepare for the Asia-Pacific Economy Summit. VOA's Anita Powell reports from Woodside, California, that Biden said he's focused on stabilizing the relationship.
President Joe Biden laid out his modest aims ahead of a significant meeting with China's leader Wednesday, saying his priority is to get back on a normal course of corresponding with President Xi Jinping and his government. But the meeting on a bucolic estate near San Francisco comes after a bruising year for China-U.S. relations and ahead of a presidential election in Taiwan. Administration officials told VOA that the White House continues to support the One China policy, but also wishes to see Taiwan's democracy continue to flourish. Anita Powell, VOA News, San Francisco.
In London,
I am prepared to do what is necessary to get flights off.
British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak said on Wednesday his government will introduce emergency legislation that will confirm that Rwanda is a safe country after the Supreme Court ruled that the plan to send asylum seekers there was unlawful.
I told Parliament earlier today that I'm prepared to change our laws and revisit those international relationships to remove the obstacles in our way.
Britain intends to send tens of thousands of asylum seekers who arrived on its shores without permission to Rwanda, hoping to deter them from crossing the channel in small boats. The Israeli military has released video it says shows guns, ammunition, grenade, and flak jackets found at the Shifa hospital. The troops entered the hospital on Wednesday. Hamas denies it. This is VOA News.
That was the latest international news from Voice of America. You have heard the local news and sports. Now for the weather report and forecast.
This is NRP Radio. It's now time for your weather report and forecast.
The National Meteorological Service of Jamaica is reporting that there's a significant feature of a broad trough across the southwestern Caribbean Sea. Additionally, a low-level jet stream across Jamaica. The trough is expected to move northeastward across Jamaica tomorrow and Friday, bringing unstable weather conditions across the island. Expect cloudy skies with widespread showers and thunderstorms, which may be heavy at times, and occasional gusty winds across most parishes, especially central and eastern parishes. In the 24-hour forecast, tonight, expected to be mostly cloudy with isolated showers and possible thunderstorms, mainly across southern and northwestern parishes. Tomorrow morning, expect showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly across southern and northeastern parishes. Tomorrow afternoon and evening, expect cloudy with widespread showers and thunderstorms across most parishes, especially central and eastern parishes. Windy elsewhere. In the 3-day forecast, Friday will be cloudy with widespread showers, thunderstorms, and gusty winds across most parishes, especially central and eastern parishes. Saturday, expect isolated showers and thunderstorms, mainly across northern and northeastern parishes. Sunday will be mainly sunny in the morning, partly cloudy in the afternoon. Other current regional weather features are frontal system across the Gulf of Mexico. That's our weather report and forecast on NRP Radio. With that, we have come to the end of our news presentation this evening. But before we go, here are the headlines once again. Country placed on alert for increased rainfall and flooding. PNP wants ODPEM to play a leading role in preparation exercise. National Family Planning Board to be integrated to a new client services division of the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Manchester reported to have the highest level of domestic violence and murders associated with it. In sports, India reached the World Cup final by holding off New Zealand on a memorable night in Mumbai. The full package of news today came to you courtesy of Siritsu Communications, connecting homes, connecting lives, connecting multiple platforms through convergence. Check them today by calling 876-333-1927 or 876-333-1926. Siritsu Communications, we're here to serve you better.
Discover the power of seamless connection with Suritsu Communications, your go-to wireless internet provider. Right here in your backyard, our expert team delivers state-of-the-art internet service promptly and professionally. Choose from our comprehensive packages: AirSpeed, Home, Advanced, or Custom, all designed for the data-driven user. Ready for lightning fast internet? Call us at 876-333-1926 or 876-333-1927 and be online within hours. Suritsu Communications, where we're not just connecting homes, we're building communities through technology.
Here is your invitation to join us again tomorrow morning at 6:30 for NRP Break of Day newscast with Leon Nash. Remember to send us your feedback to this newscast via WhatsApp at 876-336-9928. Subscribe to our YouTube at NRPJA and click on the notification bell. You are also invited to send us your feedback on our Facebook request to join our Facebook Live broadcast at NRP Media JA and LEAON Nash, Leon Nash. Our radio platform at nrpmediaja.com is always operating 24/7, 365 days per year for your listening pleasure. Join this growing medium and be fulfilled. I am Lou Ann Bramwell Shakes for NRP News. Have a good rest of your evening.